Students, I'm going to explain a very important topic, that is Jorgensen's model of investment. Jorgensen's model of investment is also called neoclassical theory of investment. So first of all, in the introduction you can give that Jorgensen's model of investment tries to find out the investment function on the basis of user cost of capital. Now we'll see what user cost of capital is, but first of all, this very model of investment has been given by economists who are D.W. Jorgensen, then Siebert and R.E. Hall. So first of all, let us look at the assumptions that have been taken in this very model of investment. Jorgensen has taken the assumption of perfect competition. So he assumes perfect competition in product market as well as in the capital market. So after that, he has assumed that the firm tries to maximize the present value of its net profits. So whenever the firm is undergoing the production process, it always tries to maximize the present value, that is of the net profits the firm is going to achieve. Then the next type of assumption that Jorgensen has taken is the substitution, that is the substitution between the labor and capital. So it has been assumed in this model that labor and capital can be substituted for one another. After that, the assumption taken is that the capital equipment, the capital asset, has been either purchased by the firm or it has been rented by the firm. So the firm can go in for either purchase of the capital asset, or it can rent also. You can take the capital asset on rent also. After that, the assumption which has been taken is that depreciation. Now the depreciation of this very capital asset, it takes place at a constant rate. At that constant rate has been taken as delta per period of time. Then production function is linear. This has also been assumed that the production function is a linear homogeneous function, and the type of the production function which has been assumed by Jorgensen's model is Cobb-Douglas production function. Then it has also been assumed that there is full employment in the economy. Now let us look at the investment function which is derived by Jorgensen's theory of investment. Now this investment function goes as IT is equal to KT minus KT minus 1 plus delta KT minus 1. We'll further see how it has been derived, and after that he has taken the Cobb-Douglas production function, and this production function is QT, which is equal to AKT raised to power alpha into LT raised to power beta. So now we come to the term which has been used by Jorgensen's model, and that is the user cost of capital. So what user cost of capital is? Jorgensen has given a lot of importance to this concept of user cost of capital, and with the help of this user cost of capital, the investment function has been derived. So what it means is that it refers to the net cost of holding 1 unit of capital asset for one period of time. So user cost of capital is the cost of holding a capital asset for a particular period of time. So if a firm is not buying a particular capital asset, there can be a case that a firm is not buying the capital asset. Now in that very case, what happens is that either the firm is going to rent it, take it on the rent, and if it is taking it on rent, so it means that the rental payment which the firm has to pay, that rental payment will be called the user cost. So if the firm is taking it on rent, then the rental payment, this becomes the user cost of capital. And if a firm tries to maximize the profits, then according to this model, the firm will be taking up the capital, either it will be purchasing it or it will be taking on rent, and it will purchase or hire the capital asset up to the point where the marginal product of the capital becomes equal to the rental cost, that is the user cost of capital. So this is the point where the firm is going to have maximum profits, where the marginal product of capital is going to be equal to the rental cost of capital or the user cost of capital. Now the user cost of capital has been symbolized by the symbol C by Jorgensen's model, and it has been termed as a function of various variables. It means that user cost of capital depends on a number of variables. Now we'll see what these variables are. Now these variables are, first of all, supply price. Supply price of capital, CR. It has been symbolized by CR, and it refers to replacement cost of capital. And then it has taken the variable, that is the rate of interest. Now this rate of interest, that is R. Then the variable is rate of depreciation, that is delta. Then corporate income tax, it has been taken as TC. And then the speed of depreciation is D. And after that, lastly, investment expenditure. Investment expenditure, which is deducted from the tax liabilities of the firm, and this has been symbolized by K. So these are different type of variables that have been taken by Jorgensen's model, and now we will see what this user cost of capital is depending upon. And this user cost of capital, you can see this is a function of CR, R, delta, TC, D and K. So these are all the variables which we talked about, on which user cost of capital or the rental cost of capital is depending. Now we'll see whether these very independent variables on the right hand side, they have a positive relation or a negative relation with user cost of capital. Now according to Jorgensen's model, the user cost of capital C, it is a direct function of the first four variables, that is CR, R, delta and TC. So it is having a positive relation between these with these variables, which means that if CR, R, delta and TC, which means supply price, rate of interest, then rate of depreciation and the income tax, corporate income tax, if these increase, then the user cost of capital will also increase. But if these variables decrease, then the user cost of capital will also decrease. Now we'll see that the user cost of capital is having a inverse relation. It has inverse relation with D, that is the speed of depreciation, and K, that is the investment expenditure, which is deducted from the tax liability. So the last two variables, they are having a inverse relation. They are having an inverse relation with the user cost of capital, which means that if speed of depreciation or investment expenditure, which is deducted from the tax liability of the firm, so if D and K, they increase, then the user of cost of capital will decline. But if D and K, they fall, then the user cost of capital will increase, because they have inverse relation with one another. So now further we look at the point where the firm is going to get the maximum profits. We have already seen that the maximum profits will be attained at the point where the user cost of capital becomes equal to the marginal product of capital. Now according to the Jorgensen's model, this CT is equal to PT into curly QT over curly KT. Now what it all means? CT. Now this CT, this refers to the user cost of capital in the current period T. Then curly QT by curly KT, it refers to the marginal product of capital in the current period T. And this PT refers to the price level in the current period. So these are the variables which are actually influencing the CT, that is the user cost of capital. So CT is given by these very variables. So till now we have seen what Jorgensen's model is about, its assumptions, what is IT, what Cobb-Douglas production function it has taken, and how user cost of capital has been introduced in investment function, and what is the relation of user cost of capital with different variables. So I'll continue in the second part of Jorgensen's model of investment. Thank you.